Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for July 28th, 2025. It is base plus something else Monday, and that something else is Hinterlands. We've got both Berserker and Militia. Hooray! What else have we got? Workshop Gardens. No trashing. Draw is lab, stables, and library. I guess you could, like with Berserker and Militia on the board and Festival, you could see where library would come into play. Plus actions is just Festival. And then gains, you've got Festival plus buy plus Workshop and Berserker gains. So, getting going with the Berserker attack is actually, I think, less important than normal because of the presence of Militia. Like, specifically, Militia can also do the same attack. So a lot of the time on a board with Berserker, it's important to get a Berserker and be activating its effect as quickly as possible. But here, I don't necessarily think that's the case because can't talk, because we can just open with Militia. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't want a Berserker, but I think it means it doesn't have the same level of urgency. Yeah, as I mentioned, there is potentially a Workshop Gardens thing. Obviously, Berserker can also gain Gardens as well, so just throwing a lot of cards into your deck could certainly be a thing. And Workshop can gain a bunch of Schemes and Harbingers, which don't hurt your deck, so it's not like a terrible card to have anyway. I mean, Scheme and Harbinger aren't really going to do a lot, to make your deck better. And hitting 5, if you're not doing some kind of rushy thing with Workshop and Gardens, then hitting 5 looks pretty valuable. So I don't know about opening Workshop in that case, but it looks like a relevant thing. Although, yeah, I mean, of course, also just getting Berserker and doing it with Berserker is an option as well. Yeah, I mean, then obviously the nice thing about doing it with Berserker is you do get to attack, and this is certainly going to be a junky enough board, sloggy enough board that it could certainly make sense to have multiple Berserkers or a Militia and a Berserker or whatever. So that's definitely a consideration. It does feel to me like the combination of the attack and the presence of Gainers and Gardens means that you do want to go in that direction, because I think it's just going to be really hard to get enough draw, to hit 5 and get enough draw to get to Province. That being said, I'm still a little dubious about opening Workshop Militia. We could open Scheme Militia, and then even if we end up buying a Berserker on the turn that we play Militia, we can scheme the Berserker instead of the Militia if we want. Potentially, at least. Could also just go Silver Militia and just try to hit 5 and not be worried about picking up a Berserker because we want to gain. It's like, oh no, we'll just get stables and try to draw stables and labs. Yeah, it's tricky. Because like even if we do want to go for gardens, that doesn't mean that it's bad to have the draw cards, of course. I very much not confident about this. I mean, the militia berserker stuff will also make it hard to hit 4 for a deck that isn't putting any control in, so that will slow that down. I think I'm going to go silver militia. Okay, bot does the same. So yeah, now we could go ahead and take Berserker here. I think I'd prefer to get a stables. Four again. Harbinger? I do want to get a workshop at some point. We don't have a festival yet, but maybe that's fine. Or do I want to get a workshop, or do I want to just try to get to Berserker and then ignore a workshop? That might indeed be better. Maybe we get a scheme. I think I'm just... They didn't play their militia, huh? I'm just taking in other stables. I don't know when I want to get festival and when I want to get lab over stables, but at least in the early going, like stables is going to cycle more to militia and potentially berserker. All right. So we're taking another scheme. Labat is definitely not building towards some kind of workshop gardens thing. Okay, so we have another stables down there. We're likely to trigger a shuffle. I was thinking about, like, can I get a festival now? But we top deck the 2 stables and then trigger a shuffle with it that has no stables in it. That doesn't look great. So I think I want to get another stables. I guess we should just top deck the militia. Make sure we get to play that. Oh, never mind. Maybe now we take the festival. All right, this is a good turn for us to pick up a berserker. And we could just go ahead and take a gardens. Or we could just take like another scheme or a harbinger or something inoffensive like that. I don't love taking a gardens yet. Three schemes is like pushing how much I would even want to top deck stables. The top decking a festival isn't a terrible idea. At some point, we want to get labs and then top deck those. Like, labs into stables is nice. But I guess getting one more scheme, I mean, it can't hurt. Or two more schemes? At some point, maybe Harbinger is better? Yeah. Alright, we should have our militia down here, so we should still get to attack. But I rather... I guess it doesn't really matter whether we play militia or berserker, does it? Guess I'll take another Harbinger. I don't know. Okay. Well, we didn't get to attack, so I guess we're going to take another berserker. I guess. It's not really what I want to be doing, but... Now should we take a gardens? I guess so. I mean, our deck definitely has more capability than the bots deck, right? We've got more draw. I think we can compete on this without too much issue. Top deck stables, top deck stables. We have only 4 copper in those 11 cards. There's definitely like a risk. I think I'm going to top deck Harbinger. Okay, well... Or no, well, how do we do this? Yeah, we probably do just do it like that. Can we find the festival? Probably not. Yeah. And we don't hit 5 again. Alright, well... Again, it doesn't matter which one we play. Oh boy. I think I'm just going to top deck the schemes. Alright, they won the garden split, but like I said, we do have the better deck. Ugh. I think. Maybe we just need another silver at this point. Want to top deck 3 schemes? I guess. Man. Oh, God. guess we'll stables discard the silver. Ugh. Guess I'll top deck a scheme. One more silver, and then a couple of harbingers. Man, we just cannot. It's going. Not really in our interest to empty piles right now. Let's take another scheme. Hey, we hit 5. Do we need to I really be able to draw. I'm gonna top deck a harbinger so I can harbinger the lab. Alright, I think we just leave it at that. We didn't see any schemes. Blech. Damn it! Oh boy. Guess we're taking another silver. Not gonna be enough to harbinger useful, so I guess scheme. It is surprising that they're hitting us with the discard attack as often as they are, considering how they have no deck control, but hey, we can get a province. 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 37. We're pretty close to 4-point gardens. Good to know. I don't think I want to be buying copper. Need to take a duchy. I guess we probably do. Ugh. Oh. Well, at least we get to scheme some stuff. Okay, we can get a province. Damn it. At this point, we might as well take scheme. If we hit our next tick of... Oh, man. I really... I guess just losing the garden split was enough. This is so frustrating. Yeah, we did hit the 4-point gardens. I guess that I should have been able to tell that just by looking at the UI, but I'm just really surprised by how consistently they were able to play Berserker, given that, or not necessarily Berserker or Militia, given that they had no draw in their deck and one village, and like I guess the village doesn't really matter, but maybe I shouldn't have gone for gardens at all. I guess that's what I'd like to try. I was like, what if we just go for provinces? It might be that the gardens approach is the best, but what the heck? We managed to stable stud here. Okay. This time we... The thing about the festival is we don't really need the plus buy. I think I'm just taking a lab. Oh, I miscounted this. Ah, shit. Oh, I really screwed this up. Well... I'm not sure what I should have done instead. I mean, getting a lab would be a good thing anyway, but that I was thinking that wasn't... that, like, we weren't going to have... a shuffle is going to be triggered, and we weren't going to be discarding into the shuffle. Obviously, that wasn't the case. All right, we have 2 schemes. I think the Harbingers... At some point, Harbinger is better than scheme. We have 2 militias, and it's still just like... Ugh, jeez. And when I miss the militia, I don't even hit 5 to get a Berserker. So I'm actually going to do... No, wait, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. Oh, we could get a province, but I'm going to keep adding draw for a bit. Want another lab or another stables? 2 labs. I'm going to say stables. Getting to the point where maybe we should take a festival. Oh, we didn't get a militia played. Okay. I wonder if we should take another silver. I only have 9 coins in the deck after all. It gets us to 11 coins in the deck, which isn't that exciting, but if we take a festival at some point and we have 13, then that starts to be something. It's not anywhere close to drawing deck, of course. So I'm going to take another lab. Well, we make some estates miss the shuffle. That's something. Oh, okay. I think we could use one more scheme. Maybe just another Harbinger. Do we take the festival now? Guess so. Wanna we put a Harbinger on top, we draw 2. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm trying to find ways to not discard copper into the shuffle, but I don't think it can be avoided. And if we're not going to make use of the Harbinger ability, we might as well have it down there where maybe we don't see it this turn, and the next turn we can Harbinger something useful on top. Okay, this was better. We have 12 coins. Alright, I think I am now going to take one more scheme. Maybe we take a gold. And that gets us to 16 total coins in the deck. We can double province. Gold and then another lab. Ah, shoot. I don't want to take another Berserker. Guess I'll just take another silver. So they have 1 berserker and 2 militias. I guess they're not hitting us every turn, but certainly a lot of turns. I don't think I even want to play this berserker. Unless I just want to steal one of their gardens. I don't really. Afford 1 more turn of adding 2 draw cards and then go for provinces. I'm going to try it. Ah. I guess we'll buy a province. Oh, I guess they are playing with Scheme. I didn't realize they were playing with Scheme. That might be part of the reason we're getting hit as often as we are. Yeah, I thought they weren't. Too late for the Harbinger. And I don't really want to play this Berserker. We drew a lot there, but we missed a lot of our payload. This is more like it. No! Hmm. I'm just taking silver lab. Miles are getting pretty low. Maybe I needed to take a duchy, but dang it. I'm at 13. Just take nothing. The other buy. I think. I guess we keep the stables. Jeez. Way too much of our green there. All right, I think at this point we take the estate. And the duchy. Be very nice not to be attacked here. All right. We can almost win on estates, but not quite. We need the Harbinger as well. Let's do that. So yeah, I think if I'd just been a little bit faster to take on the gardens last time, maybe that would have worked out, but obviously going this route is at least viable. It's a lot of draw cards to then not really draw the deck, but so okay, they weren't super close to ticking the gardens. If they had ticked the gardens and gotten an extra 8 VP, they would have had 51. So we still would have won even if they'd ticked the gardens at the end there. Yeah. Blech. Yeah, I mean, by no means do I think it's obvious that like the garden strategy should lose to going for provinces. But obviously, it is also not the case that the garden strategy definitely beats it. I guess we could try. Seeing what happens if we just go like hardcore for gardens, which I think looks like workshop, militia. I mean, it could just be double workshop. What if you don't even attack? Certainly makes you less likely to be able to afford a berserker, which seems like a big deal. Like, I think the goal with the militia is like play the militia and go ahead and buy a berserker just so you can get it into the deck, and then you can be workshopping while you attack. Scheme. The top deck berserker is also like could certainly be a thing. Well, we bottom deck the militia. That's cool. We just go ahead and take a gardens. Probably. We don't hit 5. Taking a whole mess of schemes only doesn't do a whole lot. The bot does have a berserker. Maybe we take a harbinger. I'm also thinking about whether we're actually supposed to only top deck one of these schemes so that we don't have to discard into the shuffle. I think I'm gonna say that yes, that is the case. Yeah, this might not work very well without getting to berserker. Yeah, I think I'm all right. I think this isn't going to work. I think we need to get to berserker. So we probably do need to open malicious silver. Odds of hitting 5 next turn are pretty good. I'm just going to take a Gardens and... Okay. Even though we don't get to attack with the Berserker. I think we buy it anyway. I think we get one here too. Now that we have like a militia and 2 berserkers, the scheme does not look as appealing. Maybe silver is better. Festival is interesting. Having the buys certainly be helpful. Yeah. I don't think we're at the point where we get copper estate. So we have 12 points from gardens, so we have 6 gardens. That's pretty good. Harbingers are low, so we lower Harbingers, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Well, I guess we get more gains if we do it this way. And then buy a copper. I don't know if we're supposed to take a duchy here or just buy the Harbinger. Probably take the duchy, considering... or a Berserker. Berserkers are pretty low. But like the Harbinger will be trivial to pick up as things go along. It probably doesn't actually matter, is the real answer. Problem with taking Berserker is that we're probably not going to be hitting 5 very much. I think I'll take the Duchy. I guess Festival should be better than Berserker. It gains an estate, but also gives us an extra buy, and if we hit 5, we can buy a Berserker. That pile anyway. Oh, or we can just have this hand. And we just took the Gardens. So yeah, I mean the bot didn't play to the really to the province strategy, even though it did take a province. I do kind of feel like that, I think I was more focused than the bot was when it did the Gardens thing, and I think that probably would beat the draw strategy, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.